Hello, friends, enemies, Russians, Greeks, Egyptians, Peloponnesians, French, Italians. Wait a minute. How do you say Frenchians? People from France, how do you call them? French? Frenches. French fries. No. And all my kind mothers. And all my strangers. All my strangers are my kind mothers. So let's be kind. Let's be kind to each other, because we are all each other's kind mother. So how's your day been? Tai Ji Chuan. So let's learn a little bit about the history. Let's see. So according to Tai Chi theory, the abilities of the human body are capable of being developed beyond their commonly conceived potential. Civilization can be improved to the highest levels of achievement. Creativity has no boundaries whatsoever, and the human mind should have no restrictions or barriers placed upon its capabilities. Wow, that sounds too good to be true, because we listen to the news and all we hear is how horrible it's out there. Okay, and that's where we left off yesterday or so. Okay. One reaches the ultimate level or develops in that direction by means of the ladder of balanced powers and their natural motions. Yin, the negative power, yielding, and yang, the positive power, action. From the viewpoint of this theory, it is the interplay of constructive and destructive forces that causes the essence of life to materialize. The material world to manifest, and the spiraling movements of these forces seems endless. That the two equal powers, yin and yang, oppose and yet complement each other, has confused many throughout history. Explanations of the meaning of life have ranged from the theory that humans were born with sin already a part of their nature, through the hypothesis that it is not education but the fear of punishment that creates a good person, down to the view that if there were no civilization at all, there would be no evil in the world. Whew. Yes, I was driving home from work late at night with cars passing by me on the left side of the road, and I was thinking how kind of others to not run into me. Or should it be how wise of them to not run into me? So what do you think? Is it kindness or wisdom that keeps things moving along without too many accidents? Rarely do we have accidents, and yet we must be aware of those accidents so that maybe we could see, this intersection has a lot of accidents. Why is that? And maybe we could improve that intersection and reduce the number of accidents that occur in that intersection. And so we keep track of accidents for things like that. So they are accidents. But then you have to think about what causes the accidents. Is it that people are inherently mean and want to have wrecks just for the heck of it? Not very often. Most accidents are accidents and are tragic, are intentionally not our fault, but we are hard on ourselves. We may have a little bit of that idea that we are imperfect and sinful and savage like the beasts, and we're greedy and all these things, jealous, all these things. Inherently, by nature, it's in our genes. And we also say that it's comes from the Garden of Eden when we disobeyed, and that's our fall. We have original sin, so we are inherently bad. So sorry for that spiel. The very fact that there is argument reveals the truth of the concept that two balanced powers exist. Our universe is programmed in such a way that the two powers exchange their essence, and existence comes from this. This natural law, obvious as it is ignored by most humans. We can easily rationalize our ignorance with the excuse that we ourselves are programmed to possess only one of the two powers. We're either male or female, for example. The human tendency to ignore all other aspects and focus on only one side of an issue brought Western civilization into religious worship. Western religions did, as a matter of fact, stabilize civilization and the social order for thousands of years, but they also gave rise to a series of tragic and bloody wars between differing religious factions formal religions were often guilty of extreme and dogmatic attitudes. They sought to dominate by force rather than to promote harmony. They wielded influence so strong that humans could not easily shake it off, thus causing a wave of thought pollution whose effects still persist today. In the 16th century, there were many free thinkers, such as Galileo, who tried to enlighten people, but religion held the reins. Talking and thinking were not enough. Lifestyle changes were needed. So the cultural darkness of the Middle Ages was only finally broken by the Industrial Revolution, which in turn brought about dogmatism. This dogmatism is now being eclipsed by the free-minded, educated generations of today. The women's equal rights movement is an indication of the fact that women's power, the negative, the yin, has been ignored, abused, deprived, oppressed, and misunderstood for centuries. The contributions of the negative power are as important as those of the positive power, just as the function of electricity consists of two opposite powers. So it talks about the two opposite powers of electricity. Well, electricity, yeah, you can think of it that way, and you can think of it as you can think of electricity as a liquid, and you store the liquid in a tank up high, and then you have plumbing to bring it down, and it flows, and maybe you need generators or something to push it, make it go. So the tanks are set up high, and that produces potential, right? But I'm thinking, is there an optimum height? Like, does it mean that the higher the tank is, the more potential energy it has? Will it flow faster if we make the tank higher? That's interesting. Or does it just have to be higher than everything else? Okay. So what happened in the cultural darkness of the Middle Ages? When it was broken by the Industrial Revolution, which in turn brought about dogmatism. So this dogmatism is now being eclipsed by the free-minded, educated generations of today. The women's rights, the woman's power is the negative, the yin, has been ignored for too long. And so the positive power is yang, masculine, or the men's movement. The Chinese the Chinese have long realized that the two Tai Chi elemental powers must interact, and the harmonious result could bring progress and unlimited development. Yet, they have had no better luck at utilizing their knowledge than Westerners. While people in the West are freeing themselves from the shadows of religious idealism and creating the opportunity to experience the realities of the Taiji principle, the Chinese have not yet been able to release themselves from the mental pollution of their own Taiji influenced culture. No, how is so? Tell me more. About 2,000 years ago in China, following the spring and autumn age, the Taiji principle began to be misused or ignored. There then followed several hundred years of dark ages, during which time the development of human relationships and political power took place in a very inferior fashion. Oh. Taiji encouraged the fulfillment of the individual person, yet also emphasizes that the goal should be achieved through moderate, natural ways of living. Moderate. No, that's not moderate. Oh, that's better. That's moderate. Okay. Examination of Chinese history shows that at a certain point, this idea began to be applied only in terms of political power struggles. To be the ultimate person was to be the most powerful ruler. The idea of a simple, natural human nature was ignored. The Qing dynasty cast the mold of authoritarian control and slavery that was to become the tradition throughout ensuing Chinese history. To the rulers, the Yang, aggressive powers, went to the benefits, the ultimate power, while those who were yielding, cooperative, obedient, and who encouraged harmony, those possessing of the yin power were forced to become the subjects. Women were educated to be weak and helpless, the designated slaves, and men were trained to be followers of the ultimate power, who was, of course, the king. To become the ultimate power oneself, one merely had to resort to the use of violence, extreme yang power. Competitiveness and aggressiveness were encouraged but moderated, all for the benefit of the rulers. Ironically, it was this social tradition that carried on the Taiji principle for hundreds of years. As a consequence, even though Taiji was discovered and initiated in China so early, it followed the same sad destiny as did Western philosophy. Whereas religion was to become the core of Western civilization, it was either ignored or abused in China. Although the Buddhist religion was imported from India and then absorbed by the Chinese culture, its spiritual philosophy was de-emphasized, while its ceremonies and rites became fashionable. In Chinese Buddhism, the idea of self-control was emphasized. The emperor used this ideal to suppress the common people, so that religion became known as the ruler's favorite tool. Taiji philosophy, however, offered beliefs that fulfilled human needs, even though its ideals were also abused by generations of the powerful and greedy. For the Chinese, who have received all of the influence of Taiji culture, but also sadly all of the pollution of a social system abused by power, there is much to be learned from Western culture. Westerners have already been released from the bondage of religious influence, yet are still trying to put their ideals into actuality. Really, all people search for the ultimate today. We seek a peaceful way, a natural way, a way to motivate our civilization towards the ultimate. Coincidentally, our ideals perfectly match those of the Taiji way. Hundreds of years ago, those who searched for a way to elevate the human body and spirit to their ultimate level developed an ingenious system known as the Taiji exercise. This system, which was inspired by the Taiji outlook and which was based on principles not clearly known or understood by its founders, has since proved to be the most advanced system of body exercise and mind conditioning ever to be created. While the Chinese ruling class was interested only in Taiji's productive benefits, those who cared nothing about authority were adapting the philosophy to their personal lifestyles. They were applying the idea of a natural harmony to the development of the body and mind. Since this was of relatively little interest to the rulers, there is no real historical evidence of just when Taiji as the mind and body system actually began. All of the traditional Chinese arts, such as brush painting, calligraphy, literature, poetry, and cooking, emphasize the yin-yang principle as the means of reaching the ultimate. The aspect of these arts, however, the complete philosophy of Tai Chi therefore became an integral aspect of these arts. However, the Tai Chi system of mind and body discipline was unique in that it explicitly applied the original Tai Chi principle in a progressive, organized manner. Therefore, it has become the only complete system to preserve this great philosophy for hundreds of years, all the way down to today's complicated world. The systematization of Tai Chi. Tai Chi. Okay. For hundreds of years, the system of political rule in China was based on brutality and corruption. Those who were dedicated to the truth called themselves Taoists or mountain men, and they lived a life similar to that of the monk. They carried on the spirit of Tai Chi philosophy and in no way interfered with the ruling authorities. Since Tai Chi formed its own independent system and had nothing to do with political structures, it was able to enjoy growth and freedom of development, even if only in small, isolated communities of dedicated men. While these groups had no ties with the governing authorities, their studies were nonetheless respected by the rulers, first as a body of accumulated knowledge and later as a form of religion, Gradually, Tai Chi came to be considered a highly advanced form of folk art to be studied exclusively by intellectuals and to be passed on from generation to generation. Approximately 1700 years ago, a famous Chinese medical doctor, Hua Tuo, emphasized physical and mental exercise as a means of improving health. He believed that human beings should exercise and imitate the movements of animals, such as birds, tigers, snakes, and bears. Oh my. To recover original life abilities that had been lost. He therefore organized the folk fighting arts into a fighting art called the Five Animals Games. This was the first systematized martial art in China. Since then, the Five Animal Games have been popular with the Chinese, who practice them for health and exercise. Around 475 CE, that's Common Era. 475, that's the 5th century, towards the end. Damo, Bodhidharma. So Damo is the Chinese, Bodhidharma is the Sanskrit. So he came to China from India to spread his religious teachings, and he resided in the Shaolin Temple in the Tangfeng area of North China. Besides religious worship and meditation, he included physical training in the daily routine. He used the Five Animal Games to develop in his followers a balanced mental and physical discipline. Dedication towards Buddhism, combined with an abundance of time for practice, allowed the Five Animal Games to develop in this context to a very high level of achievement as a martial art. When the followers of Tamo spread their religious beliefs throughout China, they also carried with them their martial art achievement. The system developed by the monks from the Shaolin Temple came to be known as the Shaolin martial arts system. It emphasized physical toughness and strengthening, as well as spiritual development. This was the dawn of the systematic development of the external martial arts in China. The mental discipline aspect of the Shaolin system was based mainly on Buddhist meditation. To those Chinese steeped in sophisticated Taoism and yin-yang philosophy, it was and is still considered to be simply a physical fighting system. In 1200 CE, the Taoist monk Chang Sanfen founded a temple in Wutang Mountain for the practice of Taoism, for the ultimate development of human life. Master Chang emphasized yin-yang harmony as a means to advance the development of mental and physical ability, natural meditation, as well as natural body movements propelled by an internal energy, which would be developed at a certain level of achievement. Since the Shaolin system had already been spreading throughout China for hundreds of years, the idea of adapting Taoist theory to everyday life instead of making it into a form of religious worship was readily accepted by Chinese society. Daiji thought and its yin-yang philosophy soon developed as a temple-style organization based on the model of the Shaolin temple. A modified form of monastic training was adopted in order to promote the sophisticated system in missionary function. From its inception, the temple system at Wutang Mountain emphasized internal power and the development of wisdom. Thus, the Chinese have commonly referred to the Tai Chi system as the internal system, to distinguish it from the Shaolin fighting art system. Throughout the years, there have also been systems that combine elements of both the Tai Chi and Shaolin arts into moderately developed martial arts. These are known today as Xing Yi, the form and mind system, and Bagua, the 8-diagram martial art system. Since a great deal of effort and concentration as well as firm dedication were required in order to reach even a fair level of achievement in Tai Chi, a monastic system soon developed, and enrollment became an exclusive privilege. Those who reached high degrees of achievement became the leaders of the system, and followed by their enthusiasts, they evolved a unique training relationship between master and disciple. This tradition played an important role in passing on Tai Chi knowledge and wisdom to society. And the immense power of its influence was able to pour deeply into all social classes, supported by the common people and at times even by the emperors, as when Master Chang San Fan was summoned to advise the rulers on Taoist philosophy. The temple-style Tai Chi system shaped the strong image that Tai Chi was the ultimate art of life. Masters of Tai Chi were regarded as the symbol of wisdom. They received great respect, especially since they practiced justice, charity, education, and the medicinal arts as part of their lifestyle. Those who practiced Tai Chi at times played a role in the enforcement of China's codes of human morality. For hundreds of years, the Chinese depended on only these codes as the law of the land. They were obeyed by everyone, even the emperors, and they were the foundation of the peace and social order of the Chinese civilization. Rules of basic human conduct, kindness, respect for one's elders, fidelity to parents, and love of one's kin were enforced as strictly as written laws, whereas the laws of today's industrial society say nothing, for example, about the immorality of deserting an elderly and needy parent. In the Chinese society of several hundred years ago, such an act would have been considered a serious offense and would have been severely punished. Followers of Tai Chi believed that people should discipline themselves to be spiritual, healthy, kind, and intelligent, to be responsible for assisting others, to reach the same levels of achievement, to enjoy the truth, to fight fearlessly against immorality and injustice, and to protect the needy and the weak.
It was with these goals in mind that the martial art aspect of Tai Chi came to be developed and emphasized. Tai Chi theories were easily applied to the martial arts. Mind and body harmony, in tune with the natural order of things, was at the core of Tai Chi. This offered a direction of development completely different from that of other forms of fighting techniques. It also yielded awesome results in terms of human abilities coming from the power of the mind. Thus, Tai Chi Chuan became the most powerful martial art ever known. Throughout Chinese history, periods of unrest always led to a local power, always led to local power formations and the use of force. In some cases, even Tai Chi practitioners became involved in the enforcement of peace in their areas, with the result that instruction in the martial art aspect of Tai Chi was urgently needed. The philosophical and meditation aspects of the art were gradually ignored by most people, with instruction in Tai Chi becoming almost completely limited to its martial art aspect. The true dedicated masters of Tai Chi remained in the mountains, and along with their followers, they led a monastic life in order to carry on the pure art. They meditated and practiced daily in order to attune the spirit, condition the mind, discipline the body, and elevate the essence. In this way, the original system was preserved more or less intact, with both mind and body disciplines still being included in the training. During the times when peace was re-established and the need for self-defense training faded away, those who had taught the art professionally carried on their dedicated careers as a type of family business. They taught only those who were most seriously interested, especially any of their own children who wanted to study the art as their profession. Herbal medicine and acupuncture were also offered to the local community on a charitable basis. Financial support depended on contributions by the local people whom they served and by their students. Family surnames came to be associated with the different styles of Tai Chi that were being passed on mouth to ear from generation to generation. For example, the Chen style, the Yang style, the Wu style. Many of these are still known today. Each style was distinctive, but all followed the classic Tai Chi principle. Today, temple-style Tai Chi is still considered the most authentic system, but since the rapid changes of industrial society allow little space for such a sophisticated system to grow, it has declined and is disappearing. Family-style Tai Chi is also diminishing. About 350 years ago, in 1644, Common Era, the Manchurians invaded the Chinese Empire and established the Qing dynasty. Although the dynasty was founded by force and for the benefit of the rulers, the Manchus were soon absorbed into the Chinese culture. They adopted a Chinese lifestyle, reconstructed a peaceful order of society, and started a period of corrupt rule that was to last for centuries. In the early stages of the dynasty, episodes of hostility and conflict between the Chinese and their Manchurian rulers were serious and often brutal. Even though the Manchus tried very hard to learn the culture and adapt themselves to the Chinese ways, native Chinese still regarded them as barbarian. The people's feelings of responsibility toward their nation diminished. Passive resistance and refusal to cooperate with the outsiders resulted in the stagnation of the country's economic development. As soon as the Qing Empire builders heard about the sophisticated art of Taiji, they drafted the most famous master of the time, Yang Lu Chang, founder of the Yang style or Yang family system, into royal service. Unwilling to teach the Manchus, Master Yang deliberately modified the Taiji meditation forms, converting them into a kind of slow-moving outer exercise and completely ignoring the inner philosophy and mental discipline, which is the key to Taiji. Master Yang knew that if the royal family learned of his unwillingness to teach them and of his modifications, the emperor would take retribution for the offense and appease his anger by murdering not only him but his entire family. Since Master Yang felt he could trust no one except his own sons, it was to them and to no one else that he taught the genuine art of Taiji. In this way, he avoided implicating anyone else in his personal decision to deceive the royalty. From that time on, the family style of Taiji became more restricted, with masters teaching the art only to their own kin. It was said that some masters would not even dare to teach the art to their daughters. When the girl married, a new relative could be linked with the imperial family, or could be someone whom the master felt should not be allowed into the art. While the family style of Taiji decreased, the exercise style was encouraged and practiced by members of the imperial family. It soon became the fad of the leisure class throughout China, and it remained so until the end of the Qing dynasty. When the revolution of 1900 to 1910 succeeded in overthrowing the corrupt rulers, the noble families, deprived of their power, scattered throughout the country. Taiji, of course, traveled with them. Practitioners claimed the authenticity of their art, stating that it had been taught to them by masters of the Yang family or of the other Taiji families, and the public naturally accepted their claims. In this way, the modified form of Taiji became today's Taiji Chuan, or the so-called Taiji exercises. This is the Taiji practiced publicly in China today. It is the Taiji dance, also called the Chinese ballet by some Westerners. In these modern times, a person may receive instruction in and practice the art of Taiji for years, and regardless of which style is being taught, still stand a very good chance of learning only public Taiji. In other words, most of the Taiji practitioners today most of the Taiji practiced today is not the original Taiji, and it is devoid of meaning. However, Master Yang Lu Chan's forced instruction did serve a useful purpose, although public Taiji is merely a shadow of the original. Classical temple-style Taiji, it offers the greatest opportunity for the Chinese people and for others of the world to be introduced to the art. As a matter of fact, if the Qing dynasty's rulers had not become interested in Taiji, it might have disappeared altogether under the rising tide of industrialization. It is when a person becomes serious of the study of Taiji that the search for authentic art, the temple style, begins. One can only then appreciate the courage and dedication of the masters who have preserved the line of temple Taiji down through the centuries. I was going to say ages, centuries. This is our heritage. Ooh. What's that say? Oh, that says the eternal energy is all powerful and omniscient. The eternal Tao is everlasting. So you read it down like this. Not sure if it's this way or this way. I can't read it. Do I recognize any of those characters? No. G. The internal energy of Taiji. G. That's what we'll study next. The internal energy of Taiji. And how to cultivate it. So stay tuned for more episodes to come of reading from Taiji classics, translated with commentary by Wei Sun Liao. And I guess that was Master Wei Sun Liao's introduction by going over the history. So here's some more Taiji culture, Chinese culture. There's Tao magic, the Chinese art of the occult. I guess that's the earliest forms of Chinese characters, perhaps. Or they were special characters for magical purposes. So it's they're Taoist magic diagrams, talismans, and charms. So let's look at the pictures. Ooh, that's a talisman of the messenger of the 9 heavens who can cure epidemics. That depicts a shaman performing a ritual fire dance. So we need to learn that dance, fire dance. Maybe it's a fire puja. To help cure this epidemic. Let's see. Let's look at this chart. The Taoist cosmos of eternal change has further implications for occult arts, since the 5 elements are also connected with symbols of direction, color, season, etc., as set out in the following table, according to their order in the prior heavens of change. Maybe that's a special text. The prior heavens of change. So we have the a table with headers that go like wood, fire, earth, metal, water. And let's see this headers over here. Also, those are the elements and the directions and the colors, the seasons, the numbers, and heavenly systems, climate, mountains, planets, sound, musical notes, virtues, emotions, animals, viscera, orifice, tissues, flavors, odors, emperors, and their assistants. Okay, so for example, wood is an element. Fire is another one. Earth, metal, water. Okay. Direction: east, south, the center, west, north. Then we have color: blue, red, yellow, white, black. Season: spring, summer, late summer, autumn, and winter. Number and heavenly system: 8, Yi, 2, Jing, 10, Qi, 4, Xin, 6, Hui. Yang, 3, Jia, 7, Ping, 5, Wu, 9, Ken. I think that's Chen. 1, Jen. Climate: windy, hot, humid, dry, cold. Okay. Planets. Oh, mountains: Taishan, Hengshan, Sunshan, Huashan, Hengshan. Okay, planets: Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, Venus, Mercury. Musical notes: Chui, Qi, Kung, Shang, Yu. Virtues: benevolence, propriety, faith, righteousness, and wisdom. Like Bruce Lee says, be like water. Water, wisdom. Emotions: anger, joy, sympathy, grief, fear. Animals: dragon, phoenix, ox or buffalo, tiger, snake, and or tortoise. Viscera, liver, heart, spleen, lungs, kidneys. Orifices, eyes, ears, mouth, nose, anus, and vulva. Flavors, sour, bitter, sweet, pungent, salt. Odor, rancid, scorched, fragrant, rotten, putrid. Emperors, Fu Xi, Shen Nung, Huang Ti, Xiao Hao, Chuan Su. Their assistants, Chu Mang, Chu Jung, Ho Tu, Ju Shu, Suang Ming. Okay. The doctrine of the five elements apply both to external macrocosm of the universe and to the internal microcosm of the individual self. To a student of the occult, it offers not only a general guide to an understanding of the world, but also a means whereby the cosmic pattern of change can be influenced through an act of sympathetic magic. Such an act, however, is much dependent on the precise timing of the change, for which a specialized knowledge of the calendar is necessary. Let's see. Ooh. Talisman to vitalize the five viscera. Talisman to prolong life. The plates. Look at these. And it explains what each plate means. Taoist magic is much concerned with immortality, or at any rate with the desire for a long and sexually active life. The life-giving talismans of Ling Pao, spiritual, heavenly worthy, Lord of Earth, represent some of the most powerful charms in this group, all of which are executed in characteristically bold and heavy graphic style. These life-giving talismans seem to have been used in many different ways, including even in burial ceremonies. But they all relate to a spiritual power which was closely connected with the ancient cult of earth spirits. Birds, later more specifically cranes, represent longevity in occult tradition. Hence, their frequent appearance in talismans, often in shorthand form, for instance as bird heads. These are forerunners of the mystic bird script of talismans of later periods. So, this book is it's got a lot of diagrams. And they're all explained. So that yes, you too can become a Taoist magician, shaman kind of person. But we will continue with another episode of reading from Daiji Classics. next time, where we will study the chi energy. So, until we meet again, have a safe drive home.